All right, so we are going to be heading into the game right now. And the gates are about to open. Of course, we are going to be watching the team of AAA going to be following James out of the gate.
Yep, I'm really interested to see the match from his perspective. He was putting out a lot of great pressure. As we saw, it was just so hard for Fascinate to keep up with that split pressure from AAA in that last match. And James is a big reason why, so let's watch him.
Right now, he's going to drop his portal out of line of sight, which is a great move right there. Now he's going to try to find a couple totems to smash to begin with, but there we go. Now we see that the proc from the trinket.
Yeah, they're already going on to Lone Wolf's pet. Earthshield was already on there. Fascinate's expecting it. It's no surprise. And they need to get some CC out here and start taking some damage. James is going for the long game, as you can see. He's trying to kill the pet. He's draining mana. They're not looking for an early kill. They know if we get to the late game, we can beat this MLS team. And they're playing it through how you're supposed to play it.
Yeah, especially on Ruins. Gasper's probably not going to have a position to get away and evocate like that again. It's going to be more difficult for them to peel around that crypt, especially if someone gets knocked out or feared out into graveyard. It's pretty much done because you have nowhere to run, and both these teams actually have a really good opportunity on this map to open up. Like you're saying, if they exploit any sort of weakness coming out of Enigs around this and they can get that trinket without using major cooldowns, I think that's their only chance to really convert into a kill. And maybe this map into Grand are going to be their best bet. So I think the Koreans, they seem to be playing a little bit more comfortably this time, trading CCs around. Lone Wolf taking a lot to the face, dipping to 11K. It's trinket a coil, maybe?
Yeah, he had to trinket that death coil and get out of there. He was scared that he was going to go down. There was an MCS on a Fascinate, but HRK is taking a huge amount of damage there. They've already used their MCS on an Enigs, though, so he's going to get picked back up. Great sheep after that burst, knowing that they're not going to be able to get a kill on a fully hotted HRK. He's going to sheep him, they're just going to swap. This is what MLS needs to do. They need to be swapping back and forth, putting out that pressure. Huge single target burst.
HRK caught to so much control. That's who they were really worried about in last match. You could see as they tried to swap on him in desperation to shut down some of his damage. But now they're just trying to keep him controlled. There's a Hex thrown out on Gasper, but he gets out of it. James been controlled for a little bit there, but yeah, Korean MLS definitely playing way more comfortably here, just doling out that control. Lone Wolf caught into a clone. This could be a turning point as James gets back into that poly, and he does get devoured out of it. He's going to start full dotting that pet. Like you said, he's going for the long game, trying to keep the pressure on that pet. They're just going to stick to their guns and just try to wait out this MLS team. And that's really all they have to do here.
Yep, James is doing a great job taking these shots from Fascinate. You know, he's really keeping the pressure out. You don't want to get interrupted too much. He eats a CS there. I'm not sure if that was a lockout or a fake. It looks like it's going to be a full lockout because, as you can see, he's not using shadow spells. But MLS is putting out some pressure, and they're just trying to do their best to get the ball rolling. James is actually going to have to Feldon there as his pet did go down, so good moves there from MLS.
All right, and that's the first turning point of the match, forcing that first pet kill. If they can go for another one, that Feldon cooldown isn't going to be up yet. And there we go. Now we see the Evocate coming out of Gasper, but they're playing very defensively, making sure that the team of AAA isn't going to close the gap and be able to interrupt it, because Gasper is now at full mana.
I really like how MLS is playing this match. As I said, maybe they're going to change some things around, go for more of a later game approach. But huge damage coming in at Lone Wolf here. He's down to 9k HP, switches over to Demon Armor, catches a huge heal. Great job there. And Gasper, though, is full mana. Fascinate's doing pretty well on mana, too. And Gasper, I think it was a very smart move going for that early Evocate. Lone Wolf's still taking huge damage, though. And, you know, Fascinate's just falling behind. This is a position you do not want to be in. If they start putting out split pressure here, he's just going to fall behind. It's going to snowball. We cannot let that happen.
Yeah, his pet is spiking so hard as he tanks all this damage, waiting for Gasper to get back in position to help him. He's doing a good job out here, doing the best he can, but he's spiking, his pet's spiking. This is putting a lot of pressure on the MLS healing. As you can see by the mana and health of the LSD, this is about where they want them. They're very comfortable just pumping damage into one target. Even if Gasper is getting a mana advantage, it doesn't really matter because they're going to be able to take down Lone Wolf's pet and he'll become much more viable as a target. At least it'll take out that spell lock for their team and they can free cast whoever they want, like Fascinate.
Yeah, they're just pumping damage into the Spell Hunter. They want to get a kill. And MLS has kind of backed themselves into a corner. You know, they're staying far away, so they're not going to get CC. But Gasper going very low here. 3K. Does he have an ice block? Is he? There it goes.
Oh, wow.
Very, very
right
close. Juan was coming in. He would have gone down there if that was a split second later. Lone Wolf, though, coiled in the middle. There comes the lust from MLS. They have got to get something done. Fascinate's falling behind. They know they need pressure. And Enigs pops his bark skin. Look for them to swap to Enigs after the bark skin. NS has come out from Enigs.
Fascinated when Clone gets out of it, and Enigs popped that bark skin early. They both traded lust, actually.
He's taking huge damage here, but there's a huge Swiftman, gets popped back up. Is he going to be able to get away? Into a deep freeze. He has to trinket that. Huge damage on Enigs here, but they have got to catch back up to him and get him down.
Look at Enigs, not even worried about himself at half-life, with only a life bloom on himself, getting back into the fight, getting that rejuve and the wild growth up onto HRK.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's not letting anything slip through the cracks here. He knows that if the Koreans were just feigning just to try to get him to pull back and go for that other kill, he doesn't want to lose that way.
Look at the man on Nyx. There's the innervate. If they can get up and get this purge, get a spell seal, this would be huge. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Looks like they're deciding to pull back. Not sure if I agree with this decision. That could have been a huge turning point. Gasper, however, though, is doing an amazing job on mana. I'm not sure if he switches gear around or if he's just doing a better job of mana conservation. But great job from him here.
And here we go, reset right here as the team of AAA is going to be able to get some sips off and put the mana back up.
Yep. Fascinate is also drinking back up, though, so I mean, I'm not sure who this was a better trade for. I think it's actually better for MLS. If I was a Nyx there, if I was AAA, I would have been pushing back in. He just popped his innervate to get his mana back, and Fascinate didn't have to use a cooldown and was able to regen that mana.
Yeah, and Enig's, we saw him use Trinket and Innervate back-to-back. They know Enig's is a viable target if they get him in that position. Again, there's a lockout on Clone, and it looks like they're just going to fear James off, sheep HRK, and just try to set up that MLS control like we've been looking for this whole time. And it looks like James' pet spiking. See that health funnel locked out on his shadow.
To the fight, getting that rejuve and the wild growth up onto HRK.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's not letting anything slip through the cracks here. He knows that if the Koreans were just feigning just to try to get him to pull back and go for that other kill, he doesn't want to lose that way.
Look at the man on Nyx. There's the innervate. If they can get up and get this purge, get a spell seal, this would be huge. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Looks like they're deciding to pull back. Not sure if I agree with this decision. That could have been a huge turning point. Gasper, however, though, is doing an amazing job on mana. I'm not sure if he switches gear around or if he's just doing a better job of mana conservation. But great job from him here.
And here we go, reset right here as the team of AA is going to be able to get some sips off and put the mana back up.
Yep. Fascinate is also drinking back up, though, so I mean, I'm not sure who this was a better trade for. I think it's actually better for MLS. If I was a Nyx there, if I was AAA, I would have been pushing back in. He just popped his innervate to get his mana back, and Fascinate didn't have to use a cooldown and was able to regen that mana.
Yeah, and Enig's, we saw him use Trinket and Innervate back-to-back. They know Enig's is a viable target if they get him in that position. Again, there's a lockout on Clone, and it looks like they're just going to fear James off, sheep HRK, and just try to set up that MLS control like we've been looking for this whole time. And it looks like James' pet spiking. See that health funnel locked out on his shadow. Look here. James got even more CC. It looks like they're just going to try to spike James's pet and maybe set up another kill on Enig's if they get an opportunity. But the positioning here, it doesn't really look like an obvious setup for either team. They both seem kind of conservative.
Yeah, I mean, they're going back to reset every single time they need to. I mean, Gasper took a lot of damage from that burst right there, but he already fell back to where his healer was, Fascinate.
MLS just does not like playing this tomb. It looks like they're just trying to avoid this at all costs. They just do not want to get up on the tomb. They're just going to be waiting for cooldowns, trying to set something up, and trying to get a big burst kill. But I think the problem is, with the Nyx positioning on this tomb, if they're not willing to push in and commit to going for a kill at some point, they're just never going to be able to get someone down. And Nyx mana is, though, down to half. Fascinate's still doing well on mana. Gasper is at full mana. So MLS is in a pretty good position here. They need to keep the pressure out, keep a Nyx mana going down, and then just push in and commit for a kill at some point.
They put some pressure on Gasper to get him to pull back, actually trying to take out his head. And Gasper going for another gem, resummons a gem, so that's the secret to his mana, is he's been spamming mana cooldowns.
HRK right now is looking to tee off onto Lone Wolf. He's going to run back. Now this MLS team is playing very defensively. Instead of choosing that tomb as their LOS, they're just using range to stay out of the range of the casters.
You know, I really would like to see Lone Wolf going back to Bell Armor here. I can understand when you're getting really low, swapping over to Demon Armor, getting those extra heals, but in the long term, Bell Armor is actually going to help keep him to top, stay top from life tap. It's going to give him that passive regen, and it also gives you a lot more damage. They need the pressure, they need the damage from him. He needs to swap back over.
I mean, we haven't seen too many pet kills quite yet this match, and it is something that they were going for earlier. As you can see, there we go. Now the pet taking a lot of damage right now, as they're going to be able to spike that pet down. Lone Wolf is going to have to fall back, and I believe he's trying to hard summon it as he is, and if they can interrupt this Spell Hunter summon.
He's getting extremely low, so is Fascinate. This is a very, very bad situation for MLS. Oh, he gets them both top. Great job by Fascinate.
Yep, and that was a nice Shadow Fury to give that opening. You see they're just going to get right back out there and start pumping damage. Lone Wolf just tanking damage as they're trying to pump it into a Nyx there through that deep freeze. And without Barkskin up, he is full-hotted, and that's a problem. a full-hearted Druid's not nearly as awesome of a target, especially on Ruins when he's just going to get around Crypt and there's almost nothing you can do about it with Deep Freeze wasted. So.
Just look at how much mana that situation there costed Fascinating. He's now down to 7,000. Just that huge pressure. He had to blow huge mana cooldowns. Gasper going down to 7k HP before getting topped back up, but Fascinate is looking like he's in trouble. His mana is very low, and I think that we're going to see AAA push in and not let them drink. The Knicks mana is doing a lot better still, and I think that if they can push in, keep pressure on, to prevent Fascinate from drinking, this is going to be their round.
All right, now Gasper right now is going to look to try to attack the pet yet again, but now he's choosing to go on to James, either to stack that Winner's Chill debuff so they won't be able to get out of those fears.
It looks like a Nyx throws up another Innervate, maybe not the most necessary one in the world, but I guess they're getting ready to play offensively because if they know they're going to commit, they're all going to need to be topped off. Fascinate looks like he is getting a little bit of mana back there. Yep, you see him drinking just a tiny bit up to 12k. And this is kind of strange. Both teams have had that opportunity where Nyx was low on mana and out of cooldowns. MLS didn't push. MLS is low on mana, out of cooldowns. LSD doesn't push.
I think what we're seeing here is a little bit of stage fright. I think that the teams are playing more to not lose the round than to win the round. And I think that's what we're seeing. Now, oh, Gasper getting extreme low, 6k HP, gets a huge heal though.
Wow, picked back up by Fascinate, and look at Fascinate playing that range perfectly. He's staying all the way out of range of any sort of crowd control.
Look at his mana though. AA really needs to commit here. They are going to need to push in, take this round. There's lots of pressure coming out on the pet. Fascinate is not going to be able to drink. After the healing wave, down to 3.5k mana. Gasper down 2k. Is he going to block? Blocks at 1,000 HP. That was extremely close.
That Soul Drain was ticking. As you can see, that Shadow Fury is going to stop that damage from James. They're going to go onto the pet while Gasper is in that block. Gasper out of the block now, but was picked up to full by Fascinate.
AA just needs to keep this pressure rolling, prevent Fascinate from drinking, and the round is going to be theirs. But it looks like they're content to sit back, and Fascinate may be able to get some more drinks here. I really just don't understand this decision.
James caught New Poly, unable to devour through Winner's Chill, and just gave MLS the opportunity they needed to pull back a little bit and sort of recoup. And this is really strange because LSD has such an obvious advantage here. Gasper caught into a Hex, into a Clone, immediately out of it, and there you see the damage coming in on Lone Wolf. Fascinate also low. LSD just spreading out pressure across this, and Gasper not controlled anymore, trying to get a Fear. There goes a Fear on a Nix and a Sheep on HRK. The same split CC we saw a little bit earlier, but they can't convert it into any damage. They're wasting all their Shadow Furies on the Nix. It's just not doing anything for him. James blowing that coil right into a Deep Freeze. Honestly, this is so back and forth here on this map. They're just focusing so much on control. No one's pumping damage. There's no real setup.
Yeah, I mean, Fascinate's mana keeps going so low. AA just needs to keep pressure. They've got to realize that Fascinate is drinking over and over. If they just keep the pressure on, he cannot drink. Fascinate has 500 mana. If they prevent him from drinking, they're going to get a kill here.
I mean, Fascinate.
But once again, they're content to sit back. Fascinate's going to drink up. Oh, there's a good purge. Stops that drink.
And they are pushing in. I mean, look, Gasper perhaps isn't able to be picked up. And there we go. Number 5, plus the heal is going to pick him back up to full. Looking for his target, which is going to be HRK, but he's not going to be able to do much with that. And then look at Fascinate's mana. Still, 1,000 mana. If they can stop him from drinking, they're going to start to spread those dots
getting very low here. 5,000 HP, 9,000 HP. Once again, down to 5,000. If the Soul Drain comes in, he could be in trouble. He gets picked back up before it can, though. Great job from Fascinate. I just am amazed that he's